fancy
where my
about.
mom sleeps.
I see some people on Reddit and Twitter about him getting on a better team. I just don't think other pros are.
I have a question on that topic. So, I think we could argue that Snoopy fit that same narrative on Boston when Slasher was on that team. How come we haven't seen like the same, Slasher feeling towards Gwen that we saw towards Snoopy? If that's the case, Ben.
You'd have to ask Austin. I'm not fucking Austin.
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, hypothetically, like, how come we haven't seen that? Like, if it's something
Austin
where like
Austin go roast his teammates he's teaming with right now.
or Austin wanted Gwen gone, he clearly wanted Snoopy gone. If he was able to get kills but didn't have it IQ wise, like.
I mean, Austin only talked about that shit once he was off the team.
Yeah, but it was obviously happening in the background, and we heard rumors of it while it was happening.
Yeah, but that's just not going to happen at this point in the season.
My point, bro. My point, going back to what I said the other day, they've given up, bro. That's all I'm saying. Listen, if it was serious, they'd be trying to do something and make changes. I just think that the year is chalked for the Carolina Royal Ravens.
Yeah. So when I was playing earlier, I got reverse friendly fire activated for 20 matches because I threw a grenade and it hit the hostage. So that's really cool. Definitely a lit thing.
I just listen. I just think there's talent on this team. I think Dylan Rex, has actually played pretty good this split. I think T did some plays at this series, but like we've always said, the X factor in this team is Gwen.
And I just think this team. I just think this team blacks out, bro. I think they just black the fuck out all the time. Like it seems like. Bro, I mean, bro, holy shit.
They're the slowest team in the league, damn near.
Yeah, I want to go back to that point I made a couple, I think last episode or last week, it was something like how a lot of players, they just get frozen in the moment and they're just not thinking. And I feel like that shit happens to these guys, like, all the time. And that's probably a reason why, they've been so bad in control, for a long time now. Is because that map relies on you making a lot of situational reads. And these guys just kind of freeze up and just sit there and they just don't know what the fuck is going on. So, I don't know what it is, but... It's a whole team issue. It's not a one player thing for them.
100%. What about you? You guys all agree with Ben on his Gwen take? Like, do you think if Gwen went to another team, he would shine, or do you think he'd still have those same issues? Like, do you think Carolina has a problem as a team, or do you think Gwen should just pick up the pace here? I'll be honest. I'll listen to.
Do you feel tired, or do you feel awake and alert?
I feel groggy right now.
Alright.
And then I get double teamed. Like, shit is so dumb, bro.
Listening, I think we should just hop into it and listen to the listener. You know what? We'll talk about that when we get there. Actually, we'll talk about that. But before we get into clips, you guys got any other thoughts or no?
I'm trying to get that.
Sounds good. Let's hop into some of the clips. First things first, we got a listening with the Minnesota Rocker. Let's tune in and see how they sound. Let's tune in. I thought they sounded a little frustrated, to be honest with you. Let's hear them.
Diffuser located. Disable it. All friendlies were eliminated.
What are you having for the dinners?
Don't know yet.
Dog, it's a long weekend.
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
Do I have to go on to work? I'm on the American team.
One bullet T, one bullet. These are STs. You get a red back.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
That's it. One time that's it. He's going to me. Wait, our middle. Our pillar. He's on our pillar. He like our pillar. He went top right. I'm
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. You found the bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it. Diffuser is online and active. Op 4 last stop standing. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
He's Archer's going mid. They're
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
I'm going to get.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to insertion. Need to bomb location and
Okay,
defuse
so
it.
listen, I'm gonna lower it. Am I the only one that doesn't know what the fuck they're saying?
Dude, it sounds like the fucking Miami Major, like, listening when they had it fucked up, and like, you just couldn't understand anything that was going on.
They're so chaotic. I don't know what. I can't even understand like what they're saying. Like.
Also,
I said he can see me.
yeah, they sound frustrated.
Sounds like Atlanta FaZe, but worse.
They sound frustrated, but it's because their own doing, bro. Can we go back to that garage hill and like look at their first like 2-3 pushes or whatever when they come up off spawn, bro? Why don't they make this play earlier? Like, you'll see it. Why the fuck do they just decide to hit the hill from the front, or just like, well, I guess it's from the back, and just fly at it and try to break the setup? Why don't they initially all just try to get out mid? They could have done this shit like 3 years ago where it was less readable and done it quicker and maybe got themselves some space, which made them flip and maybe not be in this blender. They just decide, like, they already died here. They're just gonna hit this shit from like
you
a
want
street.
somebody to take a route, Chris. You want somebody to take a route and go do
Yes.
something. Yeah, 100%. Somebody take a route. Somebody
Op
do
4
something.
eliminated.
Why is everybody just running at the time? Bro, you have to take routes in this game. Sam, we were just talking about this with Dylan Envoy. That is what Envoy does so well for LA Thieves. He's always taking a route when he needs to take a route. He's never missing a beat, right? And after you hit the hill twice, Chris, it's too late to take a route now. If you take the route now, it's just too late, right? Like you
They
already
should have
missed your
done it their
window.
first push. Their first push off spawn, when they all spawn back there, should have been to literally hit that right side and hit Eskies and try to get mid-map control. Because if they get that mid-map control, then that makes the Ravens have to turn around.
Yeah.
And now, if your teammates still spawn up garage,
drone
yeah,
deployed.
they can hit the
Op
front
4
because
is
they're worried about all the players
location.
behind them.
Yep.
Instead, they just try to force trades. And I mean, if they fucking sit there and get all the trades by overwhelming a lane, it's gonna look great. But more often than not, if you're playing a good team that knows how to lock down a setup, that's just not gonna work. Do that against the Thieves. It's gonna work even less than it did against the
10
Ravens.
seconds
You know what
before
I'm saying?
insertion.
And we obviously get to the ending of the game, and this is where things
5
get
seconds
chaotic
before
now.
insertion.
It starts with Nero. You see him top window. Now, Chris, you say he has
bomb
bad timing.
location
I'm
and
going to be honest with you.
Drone activated.
Fuck!
One Op 4 remaining. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
You should have watched this.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad timing. I think Nero needs to turn the fuck around. I
So-
think he needs to stop
Yeah.
looking up. Bro, let your teammates get contact here first, right,
Yeah.
man? And then once you kill the guy top window, you can come in and just play cleanup from top window.
See, you know what's crazy,
How
Tom?
did they play the push out of old here? What were they?
No,
saying?
their push out of old was fine. It's literally all on Nero. If Nero does not die, it doesn't matter what the fuck the rest of the team does. As soon as they get any contact, he shoots them on the ass. If he wins this gunfight up top, the game is
I mean,
legitimately
bro,
over.
They have every
We're
cross
his
right now.
team, Kenny, we literally see Kenny watching the push through, right? Through old, right? You see Kenny now looking at it. Look, then they cut the Nero screen and he's looking at the push through. Like he's looking at the same thing. He doesn't need to look at this.
Bomb
He does not need to look here. He needs to focus up and
then.
play a kill up top, or some good teams are gonna hit mid, right? They're gonna push mid, they're gonna push hedges. Like they're gonna try and get hedge control instead of just flooding front. Like you gotta pick this up. Like, he's gotta be playing for this guy up top, and then once he kills this guy, he needs to be playing for kills.
To be honest, I didn't want to say that he just should have watched his back because I just get so many hindsight comments. But in reality, like,
No,
yeah,
he
he
should've
should
watched
play
his back there.
He should play selfish up there, Tom.
That's not like there's times in COD where you get bad timing. You're like, oh, it's bad timing. But there's also times where players give themselves the bad timing. Like it's their fault.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't have turned. Right? Like that was a scenario where I just don't think Nero. He's doing too much. He's looking left. He's looking right. He's
Would
checking
you say
head,
that
he's
was
checking front.
bad angle responsibility by
Bad
the
angle
Minnesota Rocker there?
Yes, bad angle responsibility there.
Whether you need prototype parts in one day or full service production options, you'll find speed,
Bang.
Bang.
You know what I mean? Any other final thoughts at the end of that map there? Sam, Pat, Benjay.
I mean, you guys are hitting the nails on the head, man.
Salute. Then we get to
Hello.
the S&D. Now,
Op
Sam,
four,
why don't you
last
tell us a
stop
little bit about
standing.
this S&D? Because apparently numbers don't fucking matter here, Sam.
I gotta go. I think it's maybe all but like 1 or 2 rounds. The team that got first blood lost the round. I mean, it wasn't like what Pat said earlier, where it was like, oh, you go in, you get a trade, you run away. No, it was like blood, 4v3, reset the map, and they were still just getting tased every single round. Both teams, the whole game.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was the
what
weirdest
the
thing.
hell is this? So, I mean, Minnesota, they
15
do a
seconds
great
left.
job. Kenny gets the blood, right? But then look what happens. Look what they do
10
after they
seconds
get the
left.
blood. Everybody just dies from a solo chow, right?
What
SEO gets
the
caught.
fuck?
There's no trade there.
Yar.
There's a guy pushing their side of the map. Kenny kills the guy top flat, he dies. Then another guy
reached the
dies by
time limit.
himself. There's just no trades. Like when you get numbers like.
Yo, dude, I got
the most important
Marnie's
thing when you get numbers
autograph.
is to play tight and make
So
sure you
cool.
trade, right? Like if somebody goes down, as long as we're there to trade, like you should win the round. But it just looked weird to me. Like you got one guy dying, one guy challenging.
He whispered in my ear, "Hail Hydra."
And obviously, that was the story of this map, right? This is what we saw in this round. We also see it in the.
That just means he's a Marvel fan, right?
And
of course, huh?
TJ who finds a first blood here.
Sick.
Who tried to make a play on TJ? I think it was Gio. TJ he ends up getting really aggressive. He catches Gio trying to rotate back. And now you can see Carolina, right? They have the number advantage here. Let's see what happens here, right? Carolina, they're on the bomb now, and a big 2 pieces coming in from Minnesota Rocker. That right there, I think that's just Carolina getting shit on more than it is like positioning and stuff. Maybe angle responsibility there, Chris. I mean, we're on
there was an angle. They had a guy watching flank. They had a guy covering the guy on bomb. I think it's just a good heads-up play by Rocker to kind of like realize that Teach is out here alone, and they can do 2 things. They can chase him and try to kill him, or they can just activate on a bomb site with him being out of the play. And you know they get good timing there.
Yeah, and we end up in a 1v1 situation here. I'm gonna be honest, I hated the way Dylan Rex played this. He sees him both. He saw him. I don't know why the bomb didn't instantly go down there on the backside. He decides to play the kill.
Throwing frag grenade. Adrenaline surge.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
And then of course when he plays the kill, he gets it back time and he tries to back it up. It's just all bad. It's just all bad.
Yeah, that was faded.
I don't know. Why not just lay down and just get the bomb down? No, shouldn't he just get the bomb down there? Or am I tripping?
Just crouch up and down and play like plan it while you're spotting your push, and yeah, play the 1v1 after the plan. You know. Where he is.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely a misplay there. And then we get into the round 11 here. Can we talk about this round 11? What the fuck did we just do? I mean, first and foremost, very weird round. Take a look at the plays here from Minnesota. They push through well on defense. They
what the hell, Leonte?
They're pushing through well.
insane who came into our country illegally are not allowed to be forced out without going through a long, protracted, and expensive legal process, one that will take possibly many years for each person. This is fucking bullshit, by the way, all right? This is absolute bullshit. And the best response that I have seen from this, I think it was 7-2. Am I right about that? It was 7-2 the Supreme Court shot this down. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. But the best response that I have seen was from Stephen Miller. And I gotta find it right here. This is the best response. Weird how the Supreme Court never ruled that Biden couldn't import vast armies of illegal alien invaders. Holy shit. The best response by a fucking mile. So you're going to rule that President Trump can't get these people out of our country, but you didn't step in to say Biden can't bring them in. Fuck off. This is the best point, and you cannot debate it. You can't debate this point. This is spot on. Yep, 7-2. Alito and Thomas were the two. Yep. Just pisses me off, man. So, yeah, I mean, how is President Trump supposed to make America great again when the United States Supreme Court is keeping him from doing that? How is he supposed to do that? It's frustrating beyond belief.
Friendly drone deployed.
This is what frustrates me more than anything, is that these people will sit there and tell you that, well, President Trump isn't doing this and he isn't doing that. He's doing literally everything in his power. He's doing everything in his power. He's doing things that no other person would have done in his position.
Insertion in 10
and yet
seconds.
he's constantly being blocked by
5
Supreme
seconds to
Court.
insertion.
Right here, I feel bad for President Trump. He's just trying to save our country,
Located
and
a
these
bomb.
judges.
Make your way to its location and defuse it. You must recover the diffuser.
Are insane. We have major issues in our country. 65 million illegal aliens, and SCOTUS doesn't give a damn. Fucking, I am fired up over this one. And I don't know what the play is. Is Trump going to ignore this?
The diffuser has been recovered.
Or not? I have no idea. I don't have the answer to that question. I have no
The
idea.
diffuser is no longer in your possession. One friendly operator remaining.
So there you go with that. Now we've got another story that's pretty interesting to talk about. Smokey Robinson shot a video endorsing Kamala Harris last year, mocking Trump as a criminal for the one lawfare case that stuck. Now the singer is under criminal investigation for SA. You get what you fucking deserve.
This is the most important election of my lifetime. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a choice between good and evil. I really don't understand how any person of color
We have been
or any
eliminated.
woman could find it in their hearts to vote for Donald Trump. He's a spoiled brat child who retaliates against anyone who opposes him on any issue. And he always retaliates negatively. He's already said that if he's elected, you don't have to worry about voting again, which means that he's planning on being a dictator. That's what he wants to be. And can you imagine a man like that being in that kind of power to run our country forever.
Friendly drone
or until he
deployed. Op
passes.
4 is reinforcing this
That would be
location.
horrible. You know that he's a convicted criminal. And he's talking about all the criminals that they're letting into the country. Well, yeah, Waters running for president.
I love karma. I love karma. It's the best
10
thing
seconds
ever.
to insertion.
Binary Recoil says Biden ignored every SCOTUS ruling against
5
him
seconds
and
to
nothing
go.
happened. The difference is, and this is why.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
God, dude.
You have dropped the diffuser.
Why the Republicans are such pathetic cowards. It's because the Republicans didn't make any noise about it, and the mainstream didn't care. If Trump ignores the SCOTUS consistently, the Democrats and the mainstream media will use that against him, and they will create a fucking firestorm.
Good. Kawan deployed.
The coward Republicans just allowed Biden to do whatever he wanted, and they
The
wouldn't say
diffuser has
anything.
been recovered.
They was like, whatever, who cares, right? But back to Smokey Robinson. Yes, so I am so happy to see this. I love when those that preach to allow us have the most to hide gets exposed. And so once again, you're sitting there preaching, talking about how Trump is so terrible, people of color, women, all of that. Well, I guess you probably had the believe all women narrative as well. So if we're going to listen to you about believe all women, guess that we have to just not take your word for it and take your accuser's word. You're guilty, according to your own logic. So there you go. That's what happens when you pull the believe all women card right there. Axel
15
Jensen says,
seconds
we
remaining.
have Beardo shame. It's called Tuesday Night's Main Event. McHawk says, you
seconds.
own your own games on
Friendly last
GOG.
operator standing.
Mike Zero Source says, perhaps
5
the Beard of
seconds.
Shame could be sponsored by a particular coffee brand. Coffee bean something or another. I'm not
You're
going
out
to
of
do the
time.
coffee thing. I just can't. I can't do the coffee. You know who I'm sponsored by? This episode of CobraCast 199 is brought to you by Alec Baldwin's Finger, who does not miss. Alec Baldwin's Finger, who does not miss, just dropped 50 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Alec Baldwin's Finger. Who is that, you ask?
Who the fuck is Alec Baldwin's Finger?
Alec Baldwin's Finger is the sponsor of this episode, Rich. Quit asking questions, buddy. Thank you, ABF. Holy shit. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Varin it for 20. Since it's high time Trump became the dictator they're always whining about. The Republicans are part of the problem, as is SCOTUS. 1,000%. I mean,
Be
the
ready to
problem
engage
is,
Op 4.
and Trump, this is a decision Trump is going to have to you know, internally he's going to have to figure out. He can go scorched earth. He can go scorched earth. And he can just not give a single fuck. And
10
he
seconds
can
to
get
insertion.
everything done that he needs to get done.
Loading full magazine!
The problem is,
5 seconds left.
by going scorched earth,
Op 4
does he do damage to the 2028 ticket by doing that? And that's a question he has to answer himself. And I still don't know what his plan is. Like, on one hand, I don't gun to my head, if you ask me, do I think Trump runs in 2028? I don't think so. But I'm not convinced that he's not going to try something at the same time. I'm not convinced he won't try something. But I don't think he will. But I'm also not convinced he won't. I just, you know, Shadow Sand says, so anyways, Nintendo. What's up, Shadow Sand? I can never tell when Jeremy is mad. The lack of eyebrows that makes it hard to read his face. I don't think I've...
I don't get it. I can't. I don't get to see anyone. I just die.
Like
I don't get
get
gunfights.
Fired up and get passionate.
It's fucking weird.
Yes. I guess like I guess pissed off at the Democrats and all the stuff.
It's really dark.
Truly mad. I try not to let anyone. If you're talking about like from the perspective of super chatter or an argument with someone on a stream
Or did you
or whatever,
change,
like
dog?
if I'm legitimately been mad playing Mario Kart when some dumb shit happens, yes, but like that's in line with the
Being a faggot.
the game. But truly mad, I don't think I've ever been legitimately mad on a stream, and I try not to, because
all friendlies have been
I don't know.
neutralized.
I've been aggravated a lot. I have to stream with a lot of gays, so that always, you know, that always annoys you. Z-Herb says, some weird Indian guy in a children's park. Did you just call that kid a nuke? Mike Zero Source says, also regarding beards, doesn't Mike Zero have a beard? He can be on the list too. I haven't watched him in a long time. My Heartbreak Zero says Trump doesn't need the act to remove these illegals. He can just remove them from being here legally per the U.S. code. Hail! Somebody says Jeremy. Who said that? Somebody says Jeremy. Arclight says Jeremy gets quiet when he's mad at Mario Kart. That is true. When I'm mad at Mario Kart, I do get quiet. But when if you're talking about like on the stream, I don't really get mad like if it's a panel stream, if I'm arguing with somebody, I've never been mad on the internet from that perspective. I've been mad during Mario Kart. Fuck that game. Panic the Skyfaller says, break the glass, Trump, suspend. Is it hobby? I don't know how to say it. Hobbes? Corpus? Do it. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce that. Dirty Jersey said it too. Deport en masse. This is an invasion and a rebellion. The fuck they gonna do about it? You got to think about the long-term shit, though. You know what I mean? Habeas? Is that it? Habeas? Has Jeremy been watching Andor Season 2? Fuck Andor Season 2. It's boring as shit. And every time you say that, you have people go, you just don't understand it. You're just not intellectually advanced enough to understand the boring bullshit that's going on in this show. You just don't understand that girl bosses are important. You're just too dumb to realize that all of this diversity in this fucking show won't exist in the next movie, or at least in the timeline when we get to A New Hope. Where'd all the diversity go if it's such a fucking well-written show? Oh, we've got all this diversity. Well, where the fuck is the diversity in A New Hope? Where'd it go? If it's such a well-written show. Oh, it's such a well-written show. Really? Well-written show with girl fucking bosses and a bunch of fucking diversity that doesn't exist when the fucking original trilogy shows up? Where'd all the fucking diversity go?
You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Clear the blast area!
When did women become like so fucking shitty, dude?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure if you ask people, they'd say it's our fault, which I wonder how that even makes sense.
I literally don't have any say in a woman's life, so how the fuck can it be my fault?
Stop standing. Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful. drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
Well, what was your question?
When did women become so fucking shit?
5 seconds to go.
When they redeemed.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location.
If a kid thinks they're on the same level as you, you're gonna have a real tough time.
The diffuser has been secured. You dropped the diffuser.
That guy sucks.
One Op 4 remaining. Op 4 eliminated.
$100. Let's freaking go. And says nothing. Says absolutely nothing. That is a legendary super chat right there. Thank you, Jeremy the Cyborg, for the $100 super chat. And yes, I do not like Andor. I haven't watched I watched it because I knew it was going to be a big discussion on Friday Night Tights last week. So I watched all of this boring, dumb shit. And when it got to the episode where the lesbians had their kissing scene, and then some dude accidentally kills her, and then the space lesbian like talks down to the man while the man is crying. Grown-ass fucking man who accidentally shot a space lesbian has to get dressed down by the other space lesbian. So
have you ever heard the theory of like prehistory civilizations that have just been wiped out, but they were like basically like us?
I think I've heard, yeah, like 10,000, whatever thousand years ago, yeah.
5 seconds left.
Do you think like they were just like us, right? But they fucking they basically like imploded or they like kind of like self-destructed like Rome when all of this kind of like woke shit started happening, and then that's why whenever you see like ancient religious texts, they all like talk about don't let the fucking gays get out of control, don't give the women the rights. And all that shit. Like, do you think it's kind of like a work? Dude, sometimes I think that I'm like, what if those ancient religions are literally just like somebody at like the tail end of one of those civilizations, just trying to like warn the next civilization?
Like they know they're about to fucking die, but might as well have people coming next.
Yeah, like what do you think of that?
That would, dude, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. It's like the more and more like I fucking live in this clown world, I'm just like, dude, like what if, man? Because they all seem to
say the same thing no matter if they're in different parts of the world at different times. Yep.
So it's crazy, dude.
That's one of the arguments. It's like for two societies that have never even heard of each other have the same prescription for most things.
Reloading!
Guess we're gonna find out ultimately.
stop standing. You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back. Seconds left. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
That he's not anything, he will never be what the brilliant space lesbian that he accidentally killed will be. She was so heroic, and you'll never be that. And I'm like, fuck this show. Fuck this show. All these women talking down to these men. This is not real life. In order to get things done in a fucking war, you need men to be men. Not women telling bitch-ass little betas how to do things. You're never gonna fucking win a war with women running things. Are you fucking kidding me right now? It's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Women in charge of a fucking war. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Jeremy Sideboard. It's so well written with all these women telling men what to do. Get the fuck out of here. Solo Felix says Trump should take a leaf out of Ollie North's book. In the 80s, Ollie North was asked about Congress, which Ollie North replied, fuck Congress. Man, Oliver North, that was a huge story when I was younger. The Oliver North thing. I Lucifer says, bit rich coming from a sodomite rapist. Eddie Ramirez says, I've got a feeling that when products are made in the USA, they'll be made with global materials like my Craftsman mower. Lord Botha says, Andor fans are the Snyder Bros of Star Wars. Honestly, it is very reminiscent of the Snyder Bros, because when I would say BVS was a dog shit movie, Snyder Bros were like, you just, and they would always put their pinky on their hand, like, you just don't understand. You just don't understand Zack Snyder's vision. And that's the same thing you get with Andor. It's like, you're just not intellectually on the same level to understand this level of storytelling with Andor. And I'm like, no, or I just don't like space lesbians being in a Star Wars movie chastising men. Could that have something to do with it? You know? Let's see. Mod Eric says, Jeremy, maybe try to say this instead. Them Duke boys drove down by the Hala. I ain't seen them run no shine.
When you moaning in your mic game, nigga, my mic right by the fucking Discord, so niggas in my chat here, you moan.
I can literally say Zack Snyder Watchmen is a masterpiece. If I had problems with Snyder, I would not be able to say that his Watchmen movie is a masterpiece. I would also not be able to say that his Dawn of the Dead is fantastic. I would not be able to say that
Activating surge!
I descend into the playing field like Batman.
Activating drone.
300 was a groundbreaking visual achievement. Even though I don't really like 300, I can acknowledge that it's a wonderful historical achievement with visual storytelling, and it changed the game. Like, that was a groundbreaking movie. That doesn't change the fact that his Man of Steel movie is not a movie about Superman. It's a movie about a fucking sad alien coming to Earth, and he lets his fucking dad die. And he ends up making out with a woman he has no chemistry with. And Batman vs. Superman is a legitimately dog shit movie. And for the people that say that the Ultimate Edition is good, whenever I drink out-of-date milk, The answer is to not say, hey, if I just add another half gallon of out-of-date milk, it'll be better. That's essentially what the ultimate edition of Batman vs. Superman is. Hey, Jeremy, you didn't like 2.5 hours of Snyder's bullshit? Let's add another 30 minutes of bullshit, and that'll make it better.
Deployed.
No,
Op
it
4
won't.
is
It's
reinforcing
dog
its
shit.
location.
It will always be dog shit. It doesn't mean you can't like those movies. You can love those movies. You can think they're the greatest things ever. But don't tell me they're good, because they're not. They're terrible. Z-Herb says, every time I criticize Andor Season 1, they do the Rick and
10
Morty
seconds to go.
defense of you aren't big brain enough when it's as boring as watching
5
paint
seconds
dry.
before
I
insertion.
never struggled so much through Star Wars before, and I
You've located
watched
a
The
bomb.
Acolyte.
Make your way to its location and defuse it.
The Acolyte is...
See that new Naughty Dog game?
No.
Like a trailer with like a bald woman.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
I think it's such a fucking joke, man. You know Neil Druckmann?
Yeah.
Fucking cock, dude. You know, he didn't even write like the original Last of Us, even though they say he's the creative director of it.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody who was responsible for that is like gone.
That makes sense because you don't get the second one at the first one. They're literally polar opposites in terms of.
Why ain't nobody destroying the fucking game?
They worked on with the game.
Dirty, dirty hole.
Stay clear of the blast!
Oh.
Watch for the blast!
15 seconds remaining. User has been recovered. 1 op 10 seconds remaining.
Wow, he's holding that. Got it,
4 eliminated.
yep.
Friendly mission successful.
Good shots, good shots, good shots. Let's get it, let's go. Let's get it, let's go. We're finally on defense.
more entertaining than Andor.
I'm the winner.
Because Andor is so boring. Nightcall says, if Butch lesbian Olympic soccer team can't even beat 15-year-old boys, how can they win Space Wars? Lord Botha got that one. I Loose versus Space Dykes, Arse Masters, and Andor the Space Cuck. Modalicious says, women in charge is such a great idea. That's why Great Britain still owns Hong Kong, Australia, and Canada. Nick Nero says, free message on my birthday, gay. Look at that. Happy birthday, Nick Nero. Yeah, I truly, like, I don't know if I'm even going to finish Andor. I'm angry that I even watched it to begin with. I didn't watch season 1, and I watched the first 3 episodes, and I thought it was interesting enough, but the problem is that Star Wars is one story. And if you're telling me that Andor is a one-off that is not connected to Star Wars in any capacity whatsoever, it's a little bit easier pill to swallow. even though it's still stupid that women are in charge. And it's all like, but if you're telling me that Andor is completely disconnected to Star Wars, it's just
Fucking thunderstormed again today.
You know, it's a what if story. Then I'm like, all right, well, that's a little.
He just knows I'm there, dude. Alright, that was the guy that aimed at me through a fucking wall.
It's a bit easier to accept, but it's not. It's not. It's supposed to take time. It's supposed to play within the universe that's already been created. So the same questions apply to Rings of Power, where Rings of Power is supposed to be a prequel. Where did all the diversity go? Into the future. Where'd all the diversity go? So where's all the diversity in Andor? It's a valid question. Tell me where the diversity goes. Where did it all happen? Because diversity is important, guys. So if diversity is so important, based on Lucasfilm's own telling, Lucasfilm as a company has told us that diversity is the single most important thing in the history of humanity. It's the only thing that matters, and it will drive us moving forward. So if diversity is so important, where did the diversity go? In 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, I'm watching Andor, and I see how important diversity is and how I feel represented in this universe, guys. I see black people and women and space lesbians. Oh my gosh, I've got my diversity. And then we get to A New Hope, and we get to Empire, and we get to Return of the Jedi. Where'd the diversity go?
Deployed a diffuser. You need to destroy it.
Where'd all the diversity go? I mean, diversity is important. We need diversity in our movie. It's almost like the continuity doesn't add up because it's too busy virtue signaling at the expense of a story. Mike Zero Source says maybe I'm out of touch, but I think the director's cut to the Punisher with Thomas Jane is the greatest Marvel movie. I love the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. Love that movie. Thomas Jane Punisher is awesome. Axel Jens says Andor fans saying people don't understand it, just like years ago with The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. F these people. Alex Jones. Modalicious Intergalactic Race War. Disney knows who won. Yeah, is that Disney's way of saying like white people won the race war in Star Wars? Disney's like, yo, white people won the Great Race War. Maybe that's the subtle storytelling that we're missing. Maybe I wasn't smart enough to realize it.
10 seconds remaining.
Andor fans, maybe I wasn't smart enough. Maybe you're right. Man,
5 seconds.
Disney in the writing room with their MAGA hats on. They're like, yeah, let's just.
Bomb located by
Kanye's up in there. They got Nick Fuentes in there helping write the stories.
I'm reloading.
What a disaster. So this story, I want to circle back to, because I know a lot of you are joining in that weren't here.
Think of the magnet as your lucky charm.
Why the fuck is he running in alone as a shield and no cover?
1 op 4 remaining.
Man, he's fucking spit on me instead, bro.
Nice, dude.
here earlier, and so so fucking funny. But I know a lot of you weren't here earlier, so I want to talk to you about what I think should be the biggest story in the world right now, and it is 100% about the Joe Biden stuff. I want to talk about that here in just a minute. We will get to that, but there is a clip. Trump right here, his interview with Brett Baer, where he's talking about, opens up about the assassination attempts. So I do want to hear this. I have not heard this yet.
Welcome back to Special Report in Abu Dhabi.
15 seconds
UAE,
left.
With President Donald J. Trump. Putin
Time expires in 10
doesn't
seconds.
go to Turkey. Yeah. You thought about going. If he was going. Well,
5 seconds to go.
I consider the Middle East very important. And I had a problem because Thursday I was going to be
Reached the time limit.
UAE, okay? And which is where I am now. We're going to be leaving in a few hours and have another couple of stops. It's a pretty grueling schedule. A lot of people said, how the hell do you do it?
By the way, how the hell do you do it?
I don't know. I think it's genetics. It's genetics. I had a father who was very strong, and I had a mother who was very strong. They lived to ripe old ages, and they were great people. And it's meeting after meeting. And not only that, it's speech after speech. It's not like big ones. Like last night, if you look, he got up and made a beautiful speech. Mohammed, he got up and made a beautiful speech. I wasn't told I even had a speech to make. So I had to make a speech off the cuff. Do you think Biden could do that? I don't think so.
Trump's like, I didn't even know I had a speech.
Friendly
He's
drone
like,
deployed.
yeah,
Op
I'll
4 is
handle it.
reinforcing its location.
So it was a pretty good speech, so I looked at it. It was pretty good. I didn't know I was doing it. So, but you know, it's meeting after meeting with the highest level people. These are great people. They love us again. They were not feeling love at all. They were going to China. They're not going to China.
Insertion in 10 seconds.
You were going to go to Turkey. Putin doesn't show. Zelensky shows.
5 seconds to
No,
insertion.
I was never scheduled to go.
No, you weren't scheduled, but you were talking about maybe you would go.
Proceed to bomb location and defuse it.
Incoming!
Adrenaline surge incoming.
You have dropped the diffuser. One friendly operator
People just
remaining.
get so lucky. I'll be back.
Yeah.
We have been eliminated.
Yeah, dog, you there?
Yeah.
This game wants me to tune into grand finals when dog stims don't even work in ranked. That's pretty
But dog, it's the fucking finals,
Yeah, I
dog.
couldn't care less. I wanted to get into fucking competitive, but after playing the game, I
Nice.
don't want to anymore.
Damn, dude, that's fucking sad,
If I went
dog.
to Turkey, I couldn't go here, and it would have been.
You sound fucking disappointed, dog.
On the substance, what do you think's going through Putin's mind? You know, you said get to the table. You said stop bombing. He hasn't stopped bombing. He's not at the table. And what do you think is happening?
Well, he is at the table, and he wanted this meeting. And I always felt there can't be a meeting without me, because I don't think a deal is going to get through. There's a lot of hatred on both sides. I have a very good relationship with Putin. I think we'll make a deal. We have to get together, and I think we'll probably schedule it up, because I'm tired of having other people go and meet and everything else. And with that being said,
well, that's certainly not correct. You should know how to do a subluteal injection. Your friend comes to you, they get you antibiotics. You're on the
because of position, that I think I'm the only one that's going to be able to do that one, and I think we'll do it fast too. I think Putin is tired of this whole thing. He's not looking good, and he wants to look good. Don't forget, this was supposed to end in 1 week, and if he didn't get stuck in the mud with his army tanks all over the place, they would have been in Kiev.
Get ready to engage Op 4.
In a
Down to 10 seconds. 5 seconds to insertion. Bomb located by Op 4.
Magnets ready.
I am here.
Reloading.
Damn, dog, it's a V6.
Oh, nice, dude. The entire size of the fucking room, dude. Whoa, those things are going fast,
I know, I was
dude.
just gonna say, it seems like it's not gonna last very long.
Oh, fuck.
Op 4, last operator standing. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
about 5 hours.
I'm hungry.
Who gave the javelins? Do you remember who gave the javelins? Barack Hussein Obama? No, it was Donald Trump gave the javelins.
Do you think your perception of it has changed?
I love it. He still calls him Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, I love it so much.
Is Putin now the obstacle to peace in your mind?
Look, I had a real rough session with Zelensky because I didn't like what he
Be
said.
ready to eliminate hostiles.
And he was not making it easy. And I always said he doesn't have the cards, and he doesn't have the cards. And I'm being honest, he doesn't have the cards. You're dealing with a massive army, and you're dealing with somebody that's brave, that had great equipment.
But I haven't seen you get personal. On True Social, you said, Vladimir, stop.
10 seconds
He
left.
hasn't stopped. And you had once said that maybe you need to look
Down
at
to
other
5
things,
seconds.
like sanctions or banking.
Man, I should have grown up in a different country,
Op 4
dude.
has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Why you don't like living hell? But remember.
Nice.
But remember, it's not as bad as you think it is, because other people said that.
Right. Right.
And no, actually, they're not quantifying how. They're just saying it. The same people that would say houses aren't overpriced right now were the same people that would disagree with you. So I guess that's just telling you how retarded they are.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the equivalent of someone with a job saying that it's easy to get a job. Or at least a good one. It's like, hey, it's easy to bench press 300 pounds just because I can do it. Like, yeah, you're trying to kill yourself. Like, I'm 6'3". I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm average because I'm 6'3". Like to say that 6'3" is average.
Op 4 has deployed a diffuser. You need to destroy it.
There's ways to quantify these things, but people are just retarded.
I don't want to see 5,000 people. You know, outside of the money, which is a big deal, but the money is the money. The money we can make up. I can make up the money on one trip like this. Okay?
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
I made 12 times the money that we're talking about. I made that money in a few days. I've always been good with
It's not
money.
about the money, it's about pressuring Putin, right? I mean,
No, but I've always been good with money. I make money. I made in 4 days, I made 12 times what we spent in Ukraine. So the money is the money. What bothered me, I hated to see the way it was, you know, excuse me, pissed away. I hated to see that checks were sent for $60 billion. Every time Zelensky, I think he's the greatest salesman in the world, far better than me. Zelensky, he comes to Washington, he walks out with 100 billion every time he came, 100 billion, 100 billion. Now his abilities were shrinking because the last time I only got 60 billion. But Congress is very upset about it. You know, they're saying, where is all this money going? And we sent checks. We don't know if we sent quit. We sent just checks. We sent just cash. Where is it? The Europeans have been very badly hurt by this. They spent a lot of money also. They spent 100 billion. We spent 350. It shouldn't be that. It should have been the other way around. But
are you going to put this
10 seconds to insertion.
Right. They have not been treated right.
Yeah, like, what the fuck has gotten easier?
Brother, okay? Donald Trump's in charge.
They'd probably say,
Like,
oh,
every aspect of life has gotten harder.
They'd probably say, oh, the medical field has gotten more technologically advanced, so you live longer. It's like, okay, so you live longer, and synonymously you suffer longer as well. Is that how that works? You just
Yeah, it's gotten better, but
you're just stressed
fucking
out
wait
longer.
times are forever.
Wait times are forever. It's more expensive, even though, like with the conversation we had, it's when you said it's
Your
efficient.
doctor prescribes you shit that doesn't work.
Yeah, but like what you were asking, how it's supposed to be efficient. Why does it cost more? I don't know. It's retarded. I saw someone explain how it works with like insurance companies and how the hospitals get paid, and it said this machine costs $1,000 to operate, so we're gonna charge you $1,000 to whatever, if it's the insurance company or if it's the government, and
Op 4 eliminated.
so it's $1,000, and then whoever's paying says we'll give you 30% of that, so they just triple the price to get the first price that they wanted.
So wait, do an example with numbers.
So if it's
So I understand.
$1,000, they say, oh, we'll pay 30%, so 300. So then the hospital just says, okay, then it's 3,000. So that when they get 30% of that,
wow.
it's now at 1,000.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit, dude.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing
And
its location.
especially like for some reason people just think that's a problem in America because there's insurance companies, but that's even worse here because the government, at least when you're dealing with an insurance company, they want to pay the least amount. But here, the government will pay whatever the fuck the hospitals ask for. So they could overcharge and be completely over budget, and it doesn't
Make your
matter.
way to its location and defuse it.
Wow.
Because there's no competition trying to keep those prices low.
Guess I'll need to have my own fucking machine in my house then.
Yeah, if you need it, it's probably cheaper.
The diffuser has been secured.
Does Nomad have claymores?
I don't think so. But
Pretty good strat with her.
What?
Friendly last operator standing.
Well, I only saw it on Bank, but I guess you can use it on other maps. You basically put one of her her concussive blasts at like an opposite end of the room, and then you set the claymore up on the other side.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
and then just blast them into the claymore.
I don't think she has breach charges and stun grenades.
Oh.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location. Insertion in 10 seconds. 5 seconds before insertion. Proceed to bomb the location and defuse it. You have dropped the diffuser.
I think it's easier to just get every bad thing in life.
Yeah.
It's easier to get unhealthy food, fucking pornography. Oh, fuck. Imagine just like drugs.
One friendly operator remaining. The diffuser has been recovered.
just heard someone.
We have been eliminated.
What the fuck, dude? I heard. It sounded like he was in the room next to me, but no, he's downstairs in another room. Holy shit.
He's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, and you're not going to drive him in any direction whatsoever. That's
spent a lot of money also. They spent $100 million. We spent $350. It shouldn't be that. It should have been the other way around. But
are you going to put the
they have
screws
not
to
been
Putin?
treated. Wait, they have not been treated right by anybody. This is a war that they're, spending a lot of money on. We've been treated worse than them because we had a very stupid person as a president. And if I can solve that problem, and it's a bad problem, because I will tell you, Putin, it was the apple of his eye. He never would have done it if I was president.
I don't even think
I think you even, most people,
the life
even Democrats say that it
expectancy is
wouldn't have
necessarily
happened.
a positive. I think it's
We
neutral
inherited
depending
a
on how you
mess,
look at
okay?
it. Do you think
I
that
think
there's
it's gonna
anything
get solved,
like objectively better?
You know that Putin
Other
wanted
than
the-
medical
he didn't want a
advancements,
peace, he didn't want a junk.
which are just
He wanted the whole
expensive
thing.
anyway, so
Somebody
maybe
said,
that
well,
cancels
what
out.
do we get out of it in terms of, let's say, Ukraine?
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
You know what they get out of it?
Trying to think.
A large portion of the country.
It's just there's Senator Lindsey Graham has 73 co-sponsors on this bill that sanction Russian oil and anybody.
I don't know, like anything that I think
making the pitch for the bill
can be considered better is just it has the opposite effect as well. Like if technology is better, then it's all the other shit associated with that. Like we're all fucking socially isolated. We're all addicted to our phones. What else? It's like social media has fucked us beyond repair.
Or at least beyond voluntary repair, because that would have to be forced.
You think they would just have to shut down social media for us to go back to normal?
Oh, well, we need other cultural changes too. We need probably
One op 4 remaining.
propaganda,
Op 4 eliminated.
reverse
Mission
propaganda.
successful.
Why the fuck don't I have impacts on Maestro? That's like the last thing I would never put. What the fuck? Yeah, that's broken. So this game's so good that in my loadout it has Maestro as having impacts, but last round I had barbed wire. Does that make any sense?
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
I heard some about, what is it? Like the FBI director trying to assassinate Trump.
Yeah, the X one.
10 seconds.
Yeah, do you know what 86
Down to
means?
5 seconds.
Nope.
So 86ing
Op 4 has located a bomb.
means to get something off the menu in a restaurant. And it's something that the mafia uses as a, I guess technical lingo, though you can't say, oh, like you put a hit on this guy, you just said kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a technical way to say, oh, I didn't technically say kill him, but you did. And then he made I think of seashells on a beach that said 8647.
So 47th president.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Wait, that fucking faggot puts seashells on like the shoreline?
Yeah, he's during the election he had a painted seashell that said "Vote
One
Harris."
friendly operator remaining.
You know, tries to play it, obviously, like jokingly plays it off like it's natural.
Changing. I always had
One
that.
op
I
four
will
remaining.
use that if I have to. I'd rather not use that. By the way, that's a big deal. I just put it on Venezuela. It's secondary sanctions, it's called. And I just did it
What's
with
gonna happen?
Venezuela.
You could do it with Iran too.
Probably
I
nothing.
just did it with Iran. It's basically
I think
if
what
you buy
he's
oil
done before is worse
from
than that.
Iran, you can't do business with the
They're
United
trying to
States. And you see
spy
the
on
ships just leaving
campaign
that
and all
port.
that.
You know, in Venezuela. it was
Actually,
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
colluding with
if I
foreign
don't-
entities.
I will. If we're not going to make a deal, we're going to see whether or not this is Turkey time. You know, this is now we're talking Turkey, and we'll see what happens. That would be crushing for Russia because they're having a hard time now with the economy. Oil prices are low. You know,
It would change the dynamic.
okay, so like he's incompetent. He doesn't want to see the war because you know it's everything he said was wrong. The way he talked about Putin, the way he said the threats. I mean, it was it's just wrong. But here's what was really wrong. He let oil go from $65 to $100 a barrel. Putin was making a fortune. Now I have oil down, so nobody's making a fortune
Friendly
anymore.
drone deployed. Op 4 is
It's going to go
reinforcing
down
its
further
location.
because I'm baby drilled, you know? He closed up everything, and then he opened it. You know what people don't...
There are so many things Brett wants to ask. You can see it in his face. He is trying to figure out a way to take this conversation where he wants it, and he's having
10 seconds to
zero
insertion.
success at it. He can't do it. And Brett Baer's
5
good
seconds
at what
to
he does,
insertion.
but he's no match for Trump.
I said, oh no, he's using...
Proceed to bomb's
closed it up,
location and defuse
and
it.
it drove oil through the roof. And then he said, go back to Trump, go back to Trump. In other words, go back to what I was doing. And he didn't, but they did to a large extent. He didn't go all the way. And I would have been double that by that time. But he didn't go all the way. And what happened, he forced the prices up, the oil price.
You have dropped the diffuser.
It's weird how your positive score can go down way faster than your negative score. Even though it's both a downward trend, it's really dumb, honestly. It's so arbitrary, dude. Like,
Cover the diffuser.
just
Op 4 last operator standing.
Death Star Games. And you know what's interesting? Andor, the show that is mediocre at best, but some people think it's like the greatest thing ever. It's like, hey, in the universe, in about 2 months, there's gonna be no female officers and no diversity in the Empire. How do you explain that?
What are you talking about?
What? In Andor,
What do you
there's a
talk
female,
about? Like in 2 months?
like in 2 months in Star Wars, it's gonna be Episode 4, in the story.
Oh, okay, I got it.
But there's high level women officers, which wasn't a thing. There's a bunch of weird, there's a bunch of different bullshit. It's like, that's not how it
Yeah,
goes.
dude. Wait, aside from Leia, was there ever like a woman in any of those movies? I can't even remember.
10 seconds.
Mothma or whatever her name is. I can't remember.
5 seconds to
She's
go.
in Episode 6. She's
Proceed to bomb's
I think she's
location
also in
and defuse
Clone
it.
Wars. She's one of the politicians that probably talks with Padme and the other. She's one of Padme's close friends. She has like short ginger hair and like shoulder length.
Wait, but that's prequels, right?
She was in Episode 6. Bro, what the fuck are my faggot teammates doing, man?
Whoa.
Changing mags.
They just let me die, dude. Like, look at how bad they are. Or he is. Bro, you're better than this guy. What the hell?
Nice, dude.
Oh my god.
Hostile bomb defused. Mission successful.
Why is only his face and his head decaying?
I don't know. Ask the developers, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll answer me.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I'm meeting anytime soon.
Yay. Your reputation points now?
I think they're the same, aren't they? Something about 107.
This is up. And that Putin made a fortune during that period of time.
Did you meet Ketherick?
No.
Are you still in like the underground temple or whatever?
Yeah. I finally went to go kill the surgeon guy.
Oh, like the church type thing or whatever.
Yeah, the guy that was doing the surgery, the sadistic folks. To them, screeches of pain was pleasure or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if you cut them open, what they would do.
Probably be happy. Guy. Hello, guys.
I guess that's what I get when I need to take my pill with food.
Oh, dumb.
Of course.
Youngest man.
Wow, he's such a fast puller, Hall. And any question of his fitness, I think, has just been answered right there.
One more athlete to go. And of course...
Okay.
So much can still happen with the stones to come. Oh, they're all so tight on points, but Bjornsson to hang with the others needs this. So desperately wants to break the duck and win this title, and look at that! That too is a brilliant lift, just about as fast as Hall.
And that is almost a message to Hall. Anything you can do, I can do.
Maybe not better, but just about as well. And he is 6'9". I mean, it's not exactly an
how good things are for President Trump, because they are melting down. They have no other course of action other than to pray for the end of President Trump. These people are the most disgusting human beings on the planet. Now, just to be clear, that is not the legendary actor Morgan Freeman.
I don't know what the fuck
It's
is
some
wrong
white
with
leftist
this
nut
word,
job
but
that his
does it work
entire
for my
identity
mics?
is about hating Donald Trump. So I don't know how many of you, are familiar with this guy, but he is an absolute clown. Then he also puts 8647 below, because these are the type of people we're dealing with right now. And one reason they're really mad is because President Trump himself is, looks like President Trump's in a really good mood today, because he's been posting a lot of interesting stuff over on social media. In fact, this is one that Trump dropped not too long ago. Trump put this on True Social.
Moving ahead.
Now, people have said, like, hey, Jeremy, is this real? I can't confirm or deny if this is real, but I would say there's a pretty strong possibility that this is real. I mean, why would you not think it's not real? It's President Trump. He's talented. He can do anything.
Huh? I didn't sleep much.
The DNC was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy.
And that's not even to mention, remember what happened with the Obamas, Chef? Remember that one? Remember the details around that one? And it just got swept under the rug. No discussion of it anymore. Even though it was clearly, like, mega suspicious. The media didn't even want to talk about it. You know what they'll talk about? Elon Musk's Yahtzee salute. They'll talk about that for 6 fucking months. Because that's more important to the mainstream media than all of this stuff going on. Now, I'm learning a bit about this right here. A bomb has exploded in California at a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. Multiple casualties have been reported, including the suspect. FBI Los Angeles is taking over the investigation and has bomb technicians on scene, per Director Patel. I'm just seeing this. This doesn't even look like the United States of America. This is like it looks like a foreign country.
explosion was so crazy. It blew out the glass of this liquor store.
What the fuck was that?
Oh my god.
Nice.
All from this explosion. Poor guy.
What was that?
Damn.
My dad.
This liquor store got
What was it?
A fart.
the explosion. Look at this, dude. Damn, crazy explosion.
Damn, dude.
Glass and everything everywhere.
That's a hell of an explosion, man. That's not
the
a,
house
that's
is
not
hot,
a small
and he just
situation.
farted, dude.
That's huge. So, like I said, I'm just now seeing that.
Must feel so fucking comfortable, dude.
So if there's more information, I'll see if there's anything else out there. That is wild. Good lord. So I'm looking now. Someone really doesn't want Americans to have babies, it seems. I wonder who that could be. Good lord. It's a clinic that helps patients who are struggling to get pregnant have babies. That's the type of clinic that they were targeting. Sure, it's just I'm sure it's just your average MAGA supporter. You know, that's what the media will say. It's probably just a MAGA supporter. Probably just a good old country boy, drives a pickup truck, you know, has a few beers. That's who the media will try to paint it as, just a good old country boy. Just your typical leftist, you know, or I'm sorry, your typical right-wing white guy, probably. That's what the media will say, because fuck the media, the enemy of the people. But yeah, I mean the whole situation right now. Trump is scheduled to talk to Vladimir Putin on Monday at 10 a.m. Trump actually put a True Social out about that. Let me see if I can actually pull that up. Am I logged into True Social?
What a child.
I still don't even think I can get into my... Yeah, I am on True Social right here. They're saying it was a car bomb, says Dark Schwartz Rising. Car bomb? Let's see. Where's Trump at? Right here. Gotta get this dark theme off here, man. Alright, here. So, Donald Trump on True Social. I need a dark theme. This is driving me crazy. He posted about him and Vladimir Putin. Trump's been posting a lot today. He's been posting a lot. Right here. So, yeah, Monday, he will be speaking with on Monday. The subjects of the call will be stopping at the bloodbath that is killing on average more than 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers a week, and trade. So, we'll see what happens with that. But at least I'm glad that they're going to have a conversation now, and hopefully they can get that worked out. But Trump is on fire. Like he is hitting like insane levels right now, and I think he knows the momentum is completely in his favor. He knows that, and he is continuing to pound. This is what he should be doing. Right here, let's listen to this. The 5 on Trump's MAGA momentum.
He seemed to be adios amigos. People were writing his political obituary. He is rising from the dead like Methuselah. Look at this. Hello, Trump's net approval rating among voters. This is the Reuters Ipsos polling. Look at this. In late April, he was 8 points underwater. But look at where he was in the most recent poll among voters. He's up 7 points to a -1 point net favorability rating. Donald Trump's not just doing better than he was doing in late April 2025. He's doing considerably better than he was doing at this point in term number 1. About 10 points better than he was doing at this point in term number 1. 47's riding high in the polls after delivering a Middle East masterclass, Jessica.
Spill the blood of Saluna and rise a warrior of Shah.
Have to keep going.
Is this where you find Thorm's relic?
I can't fucking remember.
That's a water.
This must be where initiates undertook their final preparations. The end is near.
Deliver the Night Mother's mercy upon her enemies.
Who'd they make the statue of? Oh shit, it's a fast travel.
Shroud yourself in blackest night. Trust your secrets to the night.
Let's see. This must be the last step. I need to pray. Only by Lady Shah's grace did we even make it this far.
You feel your mind slip into shadow hearts. But you are not the only one present. There is another, ancient, commanding, rendered from purest darkness. Shah.
Find my spear. Step forward and strike down the Selûnite.
As you command, Nightsinger.
Now go. Warm my blade with moon-crazed
Wait, why did she
blood,
disapprove? What the fuck?
And be wary of your companion. He pries in your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't for you to hear.
Man, fuck you. You don't even fucking talk to me anymore.
She just stops talking to you now?
No, I don't know. Oh, she never really has anything to say to me, so I don't.
It's simple. My Lady Shah demands a sacrifice. One life. Not that it matters, but her reward aligns with your own interests. Please. How many breathed their last just so we could make it this far? Trust me. This will help us.
So like, the one thing about games like this, I don't know. Like, I forget we're not sacrifice a life to Shah. Does that mean we're just gonna leave, or we're not gonna? Like, I don't even know what that means.
No, not yet. We can't go on. Not without the Spear of Night. We must return to the library. Good. Somewhere in the library there should be an image of my lady that we can shroud in darkness. The spear should reveal itself. I'm glad you changed your mind. Otherwise that would have been the end for us. I don't want it to be the end.
Sure, it will be the end.
Bringing home trillions in new U.S. investments from the Gulf states. And yet, he still found time to clap back at Bruce Springsteen's overseas meltdown, where the boss called him...
This is, somebody said it in the chat, it made me think of it, but this is what I want to do, show Democrats right here. If some of the MAGA memers can just, I'm sure some MAGA memers can take this legendary video on YouTube and meme it about all of Trump's success, and then make the old guy the mainstream media. I'm sure many of you have seen it, but it's worth watching again. One of the greatest videos in the history of the internet. Here we go.
Look at that. Well, you wiping the windows? Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Well, it's a 78.
Yeah, it's looking good. Look really good.
Yeah, it's got original paint, so
yeah.
Long Island, New York garage every day of its life.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
For $700. It's real clean. It can work on it. It's whatever. The things are not packed real.
Right.
There's still a lot of room. So with that consideration, you know, I'll go.
You'll still do it.
Park that
Look. So my question to you is, how big of a masterclass was this?
Not in dispute at all.
approval rating bump, that's real life. I live and die by the polls, but that is directly related to him cleaning up his own tariffs mess. So that's moving from the 145% tariff on China to just 30%, where, you know, you saw the CEO from Walmart, I presume, saying that the prices are going to go up. So we'll wait for that. And while we
She
were
said
in
a
the commercial
library?
break,
I don't think I've seen a
Moody's
single
downgraded our
library in
credit
this
for the
entire
first time in
place.
the agency's history. So all good news all around, masterclass. In terms of the big headlines, anytime that we're not talking about the $400 million bribe that he's taking from the Qataris and the jet is a good one. But
Dude, I had such bad RNG at this fucking gate that I had to make a save point right in front of the door, or like right near it, with like 8 lockpicks, and it took me like 3 or 4 load times, or loads. It's fucking like, dude, the RNG sometimes fucking aids.
Another step forward. All's well that ends not as bad as it could have.
Oh, right. Where I have bad RNG, nice.
Let's see.
What can silence the night song?
I'm ready.
I've got a long road ahead.
But I have no fucking clue.
I'll give it a shot. That's not going to work. On my way.
Nice. Okay, I'll be back. I'll get on later.